You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Soucheray.
It's our new weekly episode of Who Makes a Better President, Rookie or President Biden, and Who Makes a Better Vice President, Rookie or Kamala Harris. We'll start with the presidential questions. Chris?
What happened last week? Let's give the results.
Okay.
What happened last week?
Well, you're a better president and vice president.
I just wanted to hear that. Thanks.
Sir, President Mikulski,
Yep.
Oh, God.
do you believe
Thank you.
the country is more unified now than when you took office a year ago today?
The unification of the United States is something that we should be. We should be unified.
Okay.
And it's my role and my administration's role as president, cabinet, etc., to bring the country together, unified, and even during these COVID times when COVID has brought a lot of people together, killed a lot of people off too, but unfortunately, very unfortunately. What I think, though, is for sure is that we remain unified and so forth for... I don't have a time, but I think once COVID is gone and Omicron and all the Delta, these forces we got, we will be unified, but I do not believe that's unification at this time.
Do you think your first year in office has been a successful one, sir?
There's a lot of ups and downs. The ups were good, felt good. Mm-hmm. The downs hurt a little bit. Mm-hmm. This bickering in the Senate, it's just got to end. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying is, what was your question?
Do you feel that your first year in office was a success?
That's what it was.
That's right.
I'm not so sure it was a success. We got people vaccinated. That's success.
Right.
We're wearing masks. We've verbally beaten down the former president, and I'll just say President Trump. I think my counterpart will not usually say his name. But I would say
Who's your counterpart?
My predecessor, President Trump.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. There's been a verbal beatdown, and blame has been placed on him. And what was your question again? Success?
Let's go now to President Biden's answer about
the country being unified.
That was it.
Unified.
Unification.
Is the country more unified than when you first took office?
The answer is, based on some of the stuff we've got done, I'd say yes, but it's not nearly unified as it should be. Look, I still contend, and I know you'll have a right to judge me by this, I still contend that unless you can reach consensus in a democracy, you cannot sustain the democracy. And so this is a real test. Whether or not my counterpart in China is right when he says autocracies are the only thing that are going to prevail because democracies take too long to make decisions and countries are too divided.
Yeah.
I believe we're going through one of those inflection points in history that occurs every several generations or even more than that, even more time than that, where things are changing almost regardless of any particular policy. The world's changing in big ways. We're going to see, you've heard me say this before, we're going to see more change in the next 10 years than we've seen in the last 50 years. Because of technology.
I thought I read
because of fundamental alterations in alliances that are occurring, not because of any one individual, just because of the nature of things.
Right.
And so I think you're going to see an awful lot of transition. And the question is, can we keep up with it? Can we maintain the democratic institutions that we have, not just here, but around the world, to be able to generate democratic consensus on how to proceed? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. But it requires leadership to do it.
Hey, stretch
and
it
I'm
out.
not giving up on the prospect of being able to do that.
See?
I see no difference in the two answers.
Okay.
I see no difference.
Is that a tie?
I'm serious. I see no. That's a tie.
Okay.
To me, he's doing a rookie impersonation.
I didn't know I got that amount of time.
Sir, one more question for you as president.
Okay.
Do you think the whether schools are open or closed will be a significant matter affecting midterm elections?
Do I think schools being opened or closed?
Repeat the question. Good
Yes,
point.
will
Yes.
have
will
an
be
impact.
will have an impact on the midterms.
Well, the schools do need to be open to cast a vote. If they're closed that day, people won't be able to vote, number one. Day-to-day operations, right? I mean, that's legit, right?
Sure.
They can't be closed.
Right?
They have to
You
be
can't
open.
get inside.
Right. But I would say they will have an impact. I don't know what that impact will be or if they will be open or closed. And the fact that we're using these children as pawns. Thank you. I appreciate that. There has to be a turning point. I mean, we have to turn this around, and my administration is trying to turn it around, but I'm meeting with a lot of resistance. People not wanting to wear masks, people not wanting to show their vaccination cards or even carry them or even be vaccinated. So you have to realize that the schools being open means the actual children are going to those schools. That's what that means.
Right.
They're going to the schools, they're engaging, they're taking the bus, they're getting a ride from their mom, they're walking. This means that they're employing the lunch ladies, the custodians. So it's a
bus drivers.
It's about, and we need more bus drivers too. Somebody just said that into my head, my IFB. And so we need to make sure that people are employed to go forward, and that's why they should be open to impact the elections.
All right, President Biden.
Wow. Okay.
Well, could school reopenings or closures become a potent midterm issue for Republicans to win back the suburbs?
Oh, I think it could be, but I hope in God that look, maybe I'm kidding myself.
Off the tracks.
Look.
But as time goes on,
Say look.
Yep.
What was the
the
question?
voter who is just trying to figure out, as I said, how to take care of their family, put 3 squares on the table, stay safe, be able to pay
Food on
their
their
mortgage or their rent, et cetera,
Very close.
is becoming much more informed on the
Man, they thought
the
W.
motives of
Please don't interrupt.
some of the political
This guy's
players
running the country.
and some of the
Oh my God.
He's not done yet, Ken.
and the political parties. And I think that they are not going to be as susceptible to believing some of the outlandish things that have been said and continue to be said. You know, every president, not necessarily in the first 12 months, but every president the first couple of years, every president,
Yeah.
of the last presidents, at least 4 of them, have had polling numbers that are 44%
Right.
favorable. So it's this idea that, but you all, not you all, but nowadays, well, Biden's at, one poll showed him at 33%.
Wow.
The average is 44,
What the hell does
45%.
this have to do with the
One poll him at
question?
49%.
Nothing.
I mean, the idea that
Look.
He's staring off into the distance.
Is he
the
still?
American public are trying
Still
to
talking?
sift
Yeah.
their way through
That's why I keep.
what's real and what's fake. And I don't think, as
Here we go. Big finish.
I've never seen a time when the political coverage, the choice
Kenny's
of
dying.
what political
Currently dying.
Did it?
He did
This
not
is
mention.
uncanny.
He did not mention school once.
It's uncanny. Rookie, this is a frightening bit. Rookie is a better president on that answer.
Well, let's see if he's a better vice president.
Let's go now to vice
No,
president.
you gotta let me catch my breath.
You
The only
are-
thing missing in those Paul Harvey pregnant pauses,
Oh, my God.
is somebody in the background, maybe like Rookie said in his IFB, going, "Say look,
Now you are vice
we
president.
need bus
Mikulski.
drivers."
I will switch my pronoun.
Yes,
Okay.
and I wish to ask you,
You forgot the question.
Yes.
voting. Do you believe?
Here we go.
that the failure to pass voting rights legislation will still make it possible to have a fair election in the midterms. Are you concerned about the election being fair?
Election fairness is at the top priority of my administration. I would say elections that are unfair just don't work in this country. We need fair elections. We don't really need voter reconstruction. Voting is easy. We all know this. I think what might be a good thing to do is we basically make it a national holiday, and then we take away the early voting. So you have to, that day, nobody's going to work. It is a BFP. Big party. All right. And that's we'll put on the calendar.
There we go.
BFP election
There we
day.
go.
And what we do is nobody goes to work.
Okay, that.
And on that day,
May I interrupt, sir? You're drifting a bit from the idea. Do you think the midterms will be conducted fairly?
the midterms will be conducted fairly. Thank you for getting me back on track.
Yes.
We have a lot of fail-safes in the zone here to make sure that there is no unfair midterm elections. Midterm meaning right smack in the middle, 2 years into the midterm.
Right.
It's like school when you get grades at school, which hopefully will be open at that time. If you're doing poorly, a lot of times you would get a bad midterm report card,
Right.
of which I have had many.
Right.
Okay.
You try to hide them.
I think-
With the invention of the computers, it was easy for the teacher to send an email directly to the parents, and that one hurt. Usually when you could just bring home the paper report card that said minimal effort, once again, doesn't shut up during class, you could usually hide those or just say it didn't come in the mail yet.
Right.
Electronic technology.
That was a bit difficult.
Yeah. So midterm elections will be fine.
All right,
They're going to
thanks.
be fine. They're going to be fair. My administration will work hard to make damn sure
Right.
the right people get elected.
All right.
Let's talk about another comment the president made. He openly cast doubt on whether the 2022 midterm elections would be legitimate. He said it all depends, which is astonishing to hear a president question whether our elections will be legitimate. We've heard it before, but not from this president. Is he really concerned that we may not have fair and free elections?
The president has been consistent on this issue, and the issue at hand, I was there last night in the chamber of the Senate, and the issue is that there are two bills, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act, that have been the solution that has been offered to address the fact that around our country, states have put in place laws that are purposely making it more difficult for the American people to vote. Laws which will be felt by at least 55 million Americans, regardless of their party affiliation, their race, their gender, or their geographic location.
Well, to the point, though,
And
because
so
those
we have
bills
been
were
clear, and
debated.
but it's
the bills were debated and they didn't pass.
If I may finish, if I may finish.
But the specific question, if you don't mind, does he think, now that these bills haven't been passed, that the 22 midterms won't be legitimate or fair or free?
What's with the porn music playing?
It was the Today Show clip.
Kind of weird.
Very turned on.
We have a final question, Vice President Rookie.
Yes.
It's President Rookie.
Do you
Sounds great, doesn't
Do
it?
you believe that it's an undue burden to expect people to produce an ID upon voting, a personal identification of some means? Do you think that's an undue burden on the American constituency?
Well, I think Americans have a difficult life right now. We're fighting COVID. Many people that were sitting on their duff have run out of their, what was it, $300 or $600, $300 a week thing, stipend for not working. And they're used to kind of just hanging out, sitting around. They can't get to whether it's downtown or the office of the DMV to get a registration card or their state ID card. So I would say that there is a burden on some people in the United States, countrywide, to produce an ID for voting. I mean, they think it should just be, hey, I'm going to vote, but you go with the BFP. You know
me.
Yeah. You going to the party? Yep. Right now, it's a way to bring the country together, and hold the ceiling up. Put your hands in the air like you don't care at the BFP, and then you cast your vote for Senate, for judge, for whoever's running in these what we so-called midterm elections. That burden will have to suffice. So yes, it is a burden, but sometimes you just got to get over the hump and do it. And anybody that doesn't vote should maybe lose their ID card. Maybe if you don't vote, we should take away your ID card and just say you're nothing, man.
Well,
you're not invited to the party.
Sir, if I may have a secondary question, sir.
Follow-up, we call it in the business.
Thank you.
Yep.
Am I to understand then that you don't think people are capable of producing an ID?
I guess to keep my answer short as I thought I have, I would say no.
No what?
They're not. They're
not capable.
They're not capable of. I don't have the utmost faith in all of them. There are some. You might be, sir. I mean, you're getting to that age where you're forgetting things, but you. My guess is you can still produce an ID and vote. You can make it to the DMV to get your tabs for your.
I do that by mail.
The car that you don't drive in the winter.
Right.
The ones that you leave the hood up, so they don't put groceries on it. That kind of stuff.
Right.
So
all right, let's hear from...
No, I guess my answer is no.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Vice President Harris.
Is agreeing to voter ID one of those compromises that you'd support?
I don't think that we should underestimate what that could mean.
What?
Because in some people's mind, that means, well, you're going to have to Xerox or photocopy your ID to send it in to prove you are who you are. Well, there are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't, there's no Kinko's, there's no Office Max near them. People have to understand that when we're talking about voter ID laws, be clear about who you have in mind and what would be required of them to prove who they are.
God.
Of course, people have to prove who they are.
It's a burden.
But not in a way that makes it almost impossible for them to prove who they are.
Oh.
You know the thing I really enjoy
you
when Kamala
kidding me?
Harris speaks is when she's about to wrap up her answer, she nods as if to say to the reporter,
Right.
I know you're dumb, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Right.
She is the definition of condescending.
This is,
That's when you talk down to somebody else.
I see no difference in your answers and their answers.
Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. There was a follow-up response from President Biden.
All right.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd
You
vote for
sped that
that
up a
kid.
bit.
We have
So-
asked Rookie.
Can I just say something here? I think Matthew, in both cases, is a better president and vice president, but unfortunately, our current reigning king and queen are way funnier. I mean, they're so stupid
I put a lot of thought into mine.
that it's outrageously funny.
But
and
the
that really
answers are
scares me.
strangely similar.
Yeah.
Eerily similar.
And I have zero experience.
And to explain to the listeners, you go into this cold. We don't tell you what these questions are going to
No,
be.
I do not know.
This is amazing. This is not funny.
In some
this
cases,
isn't funny.
I'm qualified. I'm
he
going
uses,
midterm.
he uses the same verbiage, too,
Yes.
in some cases.
Oh, my God. Well, we'll have another episode of this next week.